10 critical actions you can take now as CEO to guide your company through hard economic times, by Steve Scott, CEO, Technology Acquisition Group. There is no doubt in anyone's mind that the American economy has turned. Your company may be severely affected or only slightly affected by the economy. However, all companies must now adjust for an environment of difficult credit, worried employees, nervous shareholders, unreliable suppliers, and reduced revenues. We've had a very long run of improving economy, expanding business, and easy credit. Many CEOs in today's companies are not aware of the changes required to operate their companies when the economy is shrinking. Personally, I've been through a couple of cycles and have had the opportunity to turn around several companies. Operating a company in hard times has many parallels to a turnaround in normal times. So let's examine a couple of critical steps you can start quickly as CEO to assure survival and even a thriving future. Keep shareholders informed. Shareholders, employees, even customers need lots of information. When times are tough, different constituents will need more information from you regularly. A few will need to understand the plan, while others need to know that someone is in charge and thinking about everything that can be done to keep their job secure, to keep the revenue flowing, or to keep the share value high. Keep cash in use, but safe. When the economy is having such severe retraction as we are currently undergoing, it is truly irresponsible for a CEO to conduct business as usual with cash management. Cash may be king for customers, but for a company, it is the true lifeblood of everyday operation. The usual business of having one bank holding the majority of your cash is not a safe position any longer. It's much smarter to place your cash among several different banks, as well as other types of secure institutions to guarantee liquidity when you need it. Certainly you will take advantage of any insurance guarantees on your deposit. However, spreading among multiple banks is safer for very large deposits. Too many banks have failed to trust just one. By the way, there are rumors that some banks have lost FDIC insurance. You might want to watch for this with your bank. Your credit lines are in danger. Keep talking to your banker. It might help keep your lines open longer if discretion is ever used to decide whose credit lines are cut. It might also give you a heads up on any actions that might indicate your bank is about to tighten or reduce existing credit lines. Find more credit lines because the traditional banks have tightened credit to the point that they may not be able to offer credit extensions. However, private investors and some investment houses still have funds available for revolvers and convertible debentures to fund operations. These sources of capital are probably more expensive than the short-term credit markets, but they're far less expensive than running out of cash when it's time to meet payroll. Public companies. Publicly held companies have a few extra requirements under hard economic conditions. After you have dealt with all of the usual regulatory, governance, and transparency issues, it is time to review the special planning needs created by a shrinking economy. In other words, plan for the hard times. Have backup plans, have a list of who you will talk to when you need to get cash or inventory fast. Look seriously at your use of resources and your inventory levels. The board should examine what happens if inventory is suddenly not available, because that will stop revenue collection dead in the track. Shareholders become nervous when they do not understand what is going on with their company. A wise CEO will communicate more often than normal to shareholders when times are tough. Talk honestly about the issues. This is absolutely the worst time to try and hide issues. When everyone knows that you are trying hard to keep the value in the company, it frequently helps stabilize the stock price. This might be a good time to institute a regular press release or even a web conference for your shareholders. Receivables watchdog. Kick in a new level of watching cash flow on a daily basis. This is the only way you can predict with reliability your short-term cash needs. You probably still won't be able to collect any better by watching the receivables, but you will be setting expectations with your customers, which improves your chances to be paid before companies not as clear in their expectations. Dashboard reports are particularly helpful in this area. Right-sized inventory. Inventory is a two-edged sword. Your cash is tight, and so it is very difficult to keep your assets in non-liquid inventory. However, if your inventory is secure and adequate, you won't need credit to purchase more inventory. Prior to collecting revenue, customers' orders may slow because of their own slowdown or cash issues, even though they must order more of your product. Expense reduction. If you believe your business will be severely affected by the economic turndown, it is your responsibility to look at reducing expenses for the expected duration. If you cannot raise money or increase revenues, you'll have to reduce the outgo. A few areas to consider are temporary work stoppage, layoff of non-critical, non-producing personnel, reducing inventory levels, reducing travel, certainly reducing exotic salaries. In other words, cut the fat. Keep what produces. Are you in a region that will suffer? Not all regions of the country nor all industries will experience a turndown to the same severity. Some regions have a large military economy, or they may be based on technology or science, which has long-term funding and relies less on credit markets. Your company may have a very large cash position from having just realized a round of public or venture capital funding. This is your time to go fast. Make smart hiring decisions. Perhaps you can even produce new products to be ahead of the competition. If you have a war chest, look at picking up the assets of struggling competitors. Regardless of whether your industry or your region is suffering deep or just sympathetic effects, it still behooves you to follow the strict cash management procedures discussed above. Recession-proof your business. Recession is not only a negative for a company, this is a chance to improve your operations with core business improvements that will make you stronger now and set you up for dominance in your marketplace when the economy improves. One of the smartest ways to recession-proof your company is to increase your contacts with your customers. When business is booming and customers are easy to find, it's very easy to neglect the core communications and regular follow-up with clients and potential clients. If you lose a client, there is always someone waiting to buy. But that's no longer the case under recession conditions. Focus on your top customers, give them lots of attention. You're wise to develop regular automated systems for communication and follow-up with your customers. These automated systems will now and in the future produce results that cost far less than the individual sales approach. When your sales staff do have individual contact with customers, your customers will already be predisposed to do business with you. If you need a model to understand how this works, just look at any of the direct marketing companies that have successful catalogs. They consistently, relentlessly keep their message on your desk. So when you are ready to purchase, who else would you think of but your friends who have constantly kept their names in the forefront? The same will work for your company. Every business, every industry sees this benefit. Identify the segments of your target client base that are the last to feel the effects of the recession. Double your communications and customer support for these folks. These are the customers that will continue to spend now and well into the future. Because you have developed a relationship with them when so many of their other suppliers don't, they will move their business to you now and stay when the competition returns. Want a one-sentence summary for this idea? Attend to your core business. Steve Scott is a CEO for Hire and CEO Confidential Advisor based in California. After 25 years improving bottom-line performance as senior management and several times as CEO, 6 acquisitions, several turnarounds, and raising a few $100 million, he knows what he speaks about. Get Steve's insight on critical issues for CEOs and board members at blog.ceocomplete.com. Connect with Steve at linkedin.com/in/STVSCOTT or reach him at twitter.com/Steve Scott.